Many believe that the Malaysian dual education system will need to be re-looked at. Some parents quietly feel that the dual school system contributes to racial polarization, as stereotyping is reinforced when children of the same race dominate a school, especially at a young and impressionable age.
One is that there's a lack of socialization, intermingling between children and even students of other races, of all races. So that is not a very good point. Now, for example, if you're in a class situation, when you get to meet and mingle socially with people from other races, that tends to help with social bonding. It helps you with cultural exchange. It helps you to understand the background of another person, right? So definitely it does contribute to that. But secondly, is it a reason? Well, I don't think it's a reason. It's not something that communities want to defend, communities want to protect, so that the society continues to be compartmentalized. It's not something that we created with that intention, right? And I can give you an example. Prior to 1970, when English medium schools were allowed, about 71% of students actually attended the English medium schools. Alright, it shows that it's not your mother tongue. As long as you get what you wanted from the school, people still go for the schools. Right?
Obviously, is the system. Yeah, our education system at the moment is completely flawed.
Whether we like it or not, for the last 50 years, we have had a sort of quasi-laissez-faire type of education system.
They do not want to send their children to national schools. You see, why? Because you see, from the Indian perspective, it is more of cultural and religious reasons. Whereas the Chinese look at it more on a qualitative basis. You see, what kind of quality education they can get.
நம்ம பிள்ளைங்க நம்ம கல்ச்சரை பிரதிபலிக்கல, அவங்களும் நம்ம கல்ச்சரை பிரதிபலிக்கிறது இல்லை. அப்போ எல்லாருமே அங்கே ஒரு கல்ச்சராக இருக்காங்க. அப்போ என்ன அர்த்தம்னா மற்ற ரெண்டு கல்ச்சரும் அங்கே அழிஞ்சு போச்சு. இதை தான் நாங்கள் மறுக்கிறோம். எல்லா கல்ச்சரையும் காப்பாற்றுங்கன்னு நாங்கள் சொல்கிறோம். ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட கல்ச்சரை அழிச்சிட்டு இன்னொரு குறிப்பிட்ட கல்ச்சரை காப்பாற்றாதீங்க. எல்லா கல்ச்சருமே வந்து நம்முடைய முன்னோர்கள் உருவாக்கி கொடுத்திருக்கிற ஒரு ஜெம்ஸ், நவரத்தனங்கள், முக்கியமான நம்முடைய செல்வம் அது.
The culture has to do with the family, how you are brought up. The teachers don't spend much time transmitting knowledge about culture. For example, even today, there are Indians who still marry according to caste. They will not marry across the caste. And I'm told that here the Ceylonese boys and girls don't mix with Indian boys and girls. That has nothing to do with the teachers. That has everything to do with the family.
But if you talk about me in terms of the real tradition of Chinese per se, I'm sorry to say, I don't know a lot of it. Now, is it to say that I'm less Chinese or I'm less Malaysian? No, I am a Malaysian Chinese. Okay? Now, to say, am I rooted in my culture? Yes, I am. But in what context is that rooted in the culture? I don't really speak Mandarin that well. Now, is that a part of a root? No. No, you know, being Chinese or being what, it's a much larger picture than just speaking Mandarin, praying a certain way. You know, it's not that, is it?
I think that if we are going to measure a person's Tamilness or Chineseness by what they know of their historical past, then we are going to be in trouble, simply because most young Malaysians don't know anything. They only know malls, mass consumerism, right? They may know Shah Rukh Khan, but they certainly do not know Yang Gui Fei and all these stories which my grandmother taught me in Hokkien, you know. So I don't understand why one cannot be Chinese, to have Chinese culture, just simply because one doesn't speak Chinese.
I think on both sides of the education system, regardless of all the issues involved, I think the number one problem has to deal with the quality of the education system. The country has been so absorbed by the debate over language, by the debate over protecting culture, by the debate over keeping the quality of Chinese, of Tamil, of Malay at the highest possible levels. So our education system has been dominated by language nationalists. No, nothing wrong with wanting top quality languages. I have no problems with wanting the language of our students, the language skills of our students to be top quality, but not at the expense of everything else. I think the whole political culture in Malaysia has created an environment where the language nationalists, their demands and goals reign supreme at our schools, national schools, vernacular schools. In national schools, you need Malay. The type of Malay you learn today is my friends with kids in standard 1, 2, 3. They're no longer enjoying the language. They're just really pushing them to the maximum skill standards and so on. So it's very language driven. I think what has been lacking is the skills as well, skills in other subjects, the content in other subjects, the critical thinking, analysis element of the students. That has been totally and completely forgotten. And we need to bring those back. There has to be a balance. I think the bulk of Malaysians, while they want their kids to be competent in their language skills, I think they don't want that at the expense of all other skills. Okay, and that's what is actually happening today.
Some deny that the dual system have contributed to racial polarization and blame this on the country's ethnic-based political party system and government policies. These discriminatory policies, such as access to college and university education, job opportunities in the government sector, poor career advancements for those already in government, they say, serve only to alienate the non-Malay population.
Actually, the government is the root cause of the polarization. Simply that. It's not the education system. The government's policies influenced through the education system further polarizes. For example, let us abolish vernacular system. Does it guarantee integrated society? My answer is very simple. It will not. In fact, if you abolish vernacular system, you will deprive the minority communities of their own culture so much so that you will actually further disintegrate these people, and they will lose their confidence and they will lose their cultural identity, and they will become more. They will be filled with greater what we call resentment against the state policies, and they can even become further alienated from the mainstream development. I think there is a danger of greater polarization if you remove vernacular schools, because it affects the root of the psychic makeup of individuals.
They seem to forget that they are all nationals of this country. Some of them behave like they are outsiders. Because if you, as I told many people, while I am preaching integration all the time, politicians seem to be preaching separation. They are saying they should remain separate, but going to separate schools, learning under different types of environment, and they think that when children grow up, after having been unexposed to other cultures, they can easily overcome the uneasy feeling they have when they meet people from another culture. I don't think either they are very ignorant or they are just pretending to be ignorant.